Hey guys, it's Mike with Pure Pursuit. We're going to do the test drive video for our Alpina B7. I'm going to go ahead and basically I'm just going to drive around, kind of give you an idea of the sensations that I feel, kind of how I feel driving it. Driven a lot of our cars around, so I kind of have a good sense of what it's like. We're going to start off here in normal mode. This car, so it has several different modes. We have your comfort mode. I'll put it in that right now, which is incredibly comfortable. BMW know what they're doing, and this being a 7 Series, it's going to be very comfortable. I've never driven a Rolls Royce, not yet at least. I imagine it's quite similar to it just irons out bumps. The bumps just aren't there. I'm going to put it back in normal here. Now, just a little bit of a straightaway. I'm going to put this thing into Sport Plus. This thing is completely Jekyll and Hyde from comfort to Sport Plus. It's an absolute beast. I'm going to give it to you. Now, although it's quiet and comfortable, this thing is pretty savage. Despite this car being basically 5,000 pounds, that is one of the fastest cars we've ever had through that section of road. It's incredible because you get the sense that you're going fast because you see the head-up display and you see things flying by, but you don't get it because it is so smooth and comfortable. But you could absolutely embarrass some cars that you can embarrass. I would say 911 Carreras, you could absolutely beat them, no problem. This thing has 500 horsepower and 500 foot-pounds. Despite the fact that it's long wheelbase, it doesn't feel like it is. It really does feel like almost like a 5 Series, just in the way it handles. It's obviously a 7 Series when you put it in comfort mode and drive around town and just, forget about it. But when you want to go fast, it's very much, you can definitely tell that Alpina has worked their magic on it. I know 500 horsepower doesn't sound like a lot when it comes to 5,000 pound car, but trust me, it's every bit of 500. It feels, if I were to guess without knowing horsepower numbers, I would say 600. That's kind of what it feels like. It's really a crazy car because it's one that really you just shut. It's almost like a sensory deprivation tank in a way, because you get in it and you can't hear anything outside, and it's quiet and comfortable, and even the exhaust is pretty noted, at least, or the exhaust is pretty muted, at least from in here. I'm not sure what it sounds like outside of the car, but I don't think it's too obnoxious. It really is it's really an interesting car because, here we go, we're going down a pretty bumpy brick road. I know some of the cars we have, and I know comparing it to an M5 isn't really fair, but I would say comparing it to like an S63 or an S65, absolutely would be a little bit more of a harsh ride, seeing as we've had an S63 recently. But yeah, if you were to compare, I think the S63 wouldn't be a fair comparison, just because the way the AMG V8 is made, it's just more of an obnoxious and loud car. But the S65 would be similar because of that quiet brute force that you feel. It doesn't feel like a very excitable engine in this, but it's just, you ride a wave of power, and it's just incredible, because it's not like you just all of a sudden get kicked. It's just, now we're going quickly, and boy, for 5,000 pounds, it does stop pretty well. Now, this does have brand new tires all around. Probably does help, but it's still, I mean, you have to be impressed by this. And also, the one thing I love about the Alpina is it's I think, subtle enough that shows that, hey, no, I'm not being obnoxious and showing off. But people that know what they're talking about say, oh my gosh, that's an Alpina. I've only ever seen one of those. I think it's a real enthusiast car, that this is something you have, and then you also have your hardcore, your 911 GT3 or your Cayman GT4, something like that. Your C63 507 or your Black Series or something like that. But yeah, absolutely incredible car. And the best thing that blows my mind the most about this is that you could take on sports cars that weigh less than half as much and have similar horsepower numbers and not only be close, but even possibly beat them. And that's something that is incredible to me. And I think if you imagine this car was 140,000 about new, I think it's just an incredible car. I will admit, to be fair, I am a bit of an Alpina fan. That's an understatement, but I would love one. So if you're interested in this car, feel free to give me a call. I would love to talk with you about it. I can explain how systems work, what buttons do what, answer any of your questions. Thank you for joining us on this test drive. Feel free to give me a call anytime or shoot me an email, and check out the rest of the inventory at purepursuitauto.com.